My name is Brandon Wilson, the owner of Wilson Model Management.
That's going to be the intro.
Watch this.
In the last modeling video, I told you that you can ask questions. The last video being how to become a model. I screenshot every question and I'll try to go over every single one in this video, which this is not going to be an entertaining video or a super edited video. This is for the people that want to become a model and that had questions, and therefore I'm doing this as a informative video rather than the stuff that I usually try to. So if you're one of the people that ask questions, sit down, relax. I'm about to call Brandon. I called him earlier and he was not up yet, even though we scheduled it about an hour ago, but it's fine. Brandon. What's happening, Brandon?
And did you just take a picture?
I'm recording you, yeah. Let's start.
Okay.
Wagwan.
No, Medea.
One more clap. So, who are you? Introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Brandon Wilson. I'm the owner of Wilson Model Management.
What have you done?
What have I done? I've managed your career thus far.
Good job, actually.
And I think I did. And I think I've been doing a damn good job.
Yeah. Ever since the beginning, you know what? As you said, that's Brennan, my manager. But let's jump into this. What is the biggest misconception about modeling industry in your opinion?
I think that you don't have to be conventionally beautiful. You know, beauty comes in all, shapes and sizes and looks. It's not just one idea of beauty. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest misconception, because a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, you have to be like so beautiful and so gorgeous and stuff like that. There's so many models that are not conventionally beautiful and gorgeous that are amazing, models. So
I agree. Also, my biggest misconception is that it is super competitive in between each other, like the models and stuff. I don't think I've ever seen a male model and be like, oh yeah, no, I want to have his jobs. I think that's one of my biggest misconceptions.
Yeah,
because that's what I thought was going to happen as well. When it comes to modeling, are there contracts you must sign that include duration of modeling with the agency, and how could you be sure if you trust the agency? You can never be sure to trust an agency.
You can never be sure. Exactly.
Having a good relationship, a good human relationship, is quite a good indicator for the trust that you can give an agency, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But you're talking about contractually?
Yes, transparency is also a big key, but
that point I didn't really answer. If you want to be sure that a contract is to be trusted, then you have to understand the contract and maybe go over the contract with somebody that knows how to handle contracts. Even if you're in a good relationship human-wise with an agency, that doesn't mean that they can't have a contract that might not benefit you in the end.
Do you have to sign contracts that include time and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an industry of contracts. It's so many contracts, even the contracts that the models don't see with the brands that they work with, that the agencies negotiate those contracts. But yeah, for sure.
How do you become a model for brands like Calvin Klein, Polo? Do you get free clothing shipped to you? So, from modeling alone, I pretty much never get clothes for free at all, because pretty much all the stuff that we shoot for it is not out yet, so it doesn't really make sense to give it away once it's not out for, even legal reasons. But how do you become a model for Calvin Klein and Polo, Mr. Brandon Wilson?
That's an interesting question. I mean, you first have to have the look for the brand. The brand has to be interested in your look. It's not up to myself or an agency, if you're gonna book that job. When we sign you on, we can be like, okay, yeah, you're good for this brand X, Y, and Z. But in the end, it's up to them to see that look and see that vision for their brand. I mean, you're a Calvin Klein model.
Yes. How that happened, quick version. Well, they have some things they're looking for, and then they search for people that fit into that mood board, and then they just select or choose. What is a normal day like for work for you as a model? Is it tiring? Do you want to say something to that?
I mean, I honestly couldn't do your schedule sometimes. I mean, you remember when you were on a plane every other week? It was always on a plane from from New York
Mhm.
to Cape Town, South Africa,
Sweden.
to London. Sweden.
First it was
literally
Sweden, then
back to
London.
back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
back.
That was when social media wasn't at work-ish yet, and it was just
Right.
modeling. Yeah.
Right.
So I would say my day is, it's hard to say because you don't model all the time, but you prepare every single day pretty much. So I can't really say that there is a specific, because even when you eat, when you do sports, when you have your camera always charged for something to happen, it's the small things around it, taking care of your skin, like that is all part of it. But it's hard to say that that's like that takes the whole day. Is it tiring? If you want to reach your full potential, it is very tiring. Yes, not in a super bad way though. Can I be modeling even if I have physical problems like scoliosis or others? Absolutely. It depends on the extent of your condition, of your problem, of your physical problem. I have quite a bad back. I know how bad it is and I know where my limits are. So if you know that and you know that you're physically capable of what they're demanding from you, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. Also, looks wise, it could be an issue, I guess. But
it depends on that physical disability. You know, I mean, listen, there's the exception to the rule.
Could you talk about prep yourself before applying to agencies? Like, how do you get your skin and body their best? I will talk about that.
I mean, what you should know basically is that you should be in Chester. Give me this damn ball. As a model, you should be in the best physical shape that you can be. You should definitely be on a workout and skincare regime, eating right, taking care of yourself properly, and mentally as well, you know, because of all the vigors that come along with it. So it's not just physical, but it is also mentally. But yeah, you should definitely stay fit and lean.
The requirements are harsh. Do you think modeling industry should stick with their requirements, especially height?
I mean, the requirements are the requirements, right? You know, I don't think they're ever going to change. It's been like that since modeling started, I believe. Especially at least high fashion modeling, you know, because there is a difference. There's commercial modeling and there's not such strict height requirements like it is in high fashion. But when it comes in high fashion modeling, yeah, there's certain requirements for a reason. And it's more so because of the clothes and the way, you know, the length of the material and the way it drapes off of a lengthier body, you know, for angle reasons, for pictures and runway, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I don't see that changing. But if it's not high fashion, there is commercial modeling where they're way more lenient on the height requirement and certain other requirements for that matter. But I do like that the industry is going in another direction where they're taking on more plus size models.
Because what about like, is Victoria's Secret high fashion or is it commercial?
Mm-hmm. That's commercial.
Because for example, they changed.
Yeah.
Or they have to change.
It depends on the people in charge and what they want to do for the direction of the brand.
How old were you when you started modeling, and is it hard to combine with school? I was 18, so I was out of school already. And is it hard to combine with school? For Jacardi, for example, how hard is it for him schedule-wise?
Jacardi is different because Jacardi is in, you know, one of the fashion capitals, so he's in New York. But it gets difficult if you have classes and it's not in, you know.
So if somebody's in high school, do you recommend them to model?
It depends. I have several models that are in high school, and we work around their schedules. If they're a model, they're a model. If they have, you know, they could book a job during on the weekend. They can book a job during a holiday or a school break or a summer break. So, or in special occasions or situations, if the job is right and the money is right, they can maybe miss a day of class or something.
I was thinking about becoming a model, though I'm only 14 just because I'm tall, dark skin and skinny, but I have so much scars, so never mind.
Listen, if you're considering whether you have scars or not, if you're tall, if you meet that requirement, 14 is not. I mean, I found models at 14. Depending on what the scars look like, there's models that have scars. Take a few pictures and send them in. You never know.
How do you deal with rejection? Like, and if I ever had a phase in my career where it didn't work, well, that's part of it. If you're not comfortable with rejection, this is going to be a tough job for you. If modeling is the only thing that you do and the only thing that that keeps you busy, then you might get very depressed after a while, because it's not the most hormone stable job. I don't know how to say it, because it could literally be you could have the best news in 2 weeks and then not work for a half a year or something like that. You have to not make your mentality dependent of modeling. That's how to deal with rejection. And have I ever had a phase where it didn't work or where it didn't get hired? I think I had a few weeks, was it last year spring, where I was in New York and I had like one job in a month.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what's the point of staying in New York, because it's quite expensive if I don't work. And I honestly was like, ah, damn, so I guess it fades out, huh?
Oh yeah, we had a whole discussion about it. You were like, well, Brandon, blah 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 blah. Like most industries, you know, you have your ups and downs with it, but you look forward to the ups.
It's so hard to answer questions when every answer is different for whoever is going to be an answer for. Do you still feel like modeling is your bridge? You're really enjoying it? Are you going to move on to acting or anything like that? Well, in the beginning, that was my plan. I only started modeling because I thought it was going to be a bridge to acting. Now it's kind of dragged out. I'm still interested in acting, as Brennan is an actor as well. And I was like, oh, wow, well, he can help me. Now, I have to say, I have not dreamed of the extent of success I would have in this industry. And I want to take advantage of it as long as I can at this level. And then slowly on the side, build my next chapter. Hi, Desi. Models earns well?
Models earn well.
That's a very, very often asked question. How much do models make?
Yeah, it ranges. I mean, it ranges from, you know, you could from literally zero, literally
minus actually.
literally, or negatives, exactly, or negatives, to like Giselle Bundchen, who's like 20 million, you know, deep.
Is there an average?
An average, I would say 6 figures could be an average for sure. I think 6 figures is a good average.
For men and women?
For men and women, yeah. You can do fashion and commercial and make about the same. Or a mix of, you know?
What's 6 figures?
6 figures, you know, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, that kind of thing.
Okay.
400,000.
Where am I living now? I am living in Berlin right now. Not sure where I'm going to live later.
You're all over the place. Rolling Stone.
Can I go into modeling without an agency?
Yes, you could. There's a lot of freelance models that they, especially with the advent of social media, a lot of models just take it on by themselves. You know, they reach out to brands on their own. They do social media type of things. The real savvy ones ends up reaching out to casting directors, and that if they really want to do it, yeah, you can bypass the agent altogether and go straight to the client, to the source. But that is also, again, exception, right? Most models, they try to get an agent because it's just easier.
And it's probably also, in my opinion, the smarter way to get a safe thing out of it. Because the risk of getting screwed over and not getting paid and all that is higher if you don't have somebody that has a lawyer as a backup or something like that. Can you be a model if you have acne?
I can't sugarcoat it. I mean, no. You know, this industry, unless you're doing a job specifically for acne, you need great skin, you know? If you have bad skin, it makes it progressively harder.
Which is something that you can work on, so.
You can work.
Does the agency pay for your trips?
The agency doesn't necessarily do that, right? It's
the agency never does.
They don't pay for anything unless they agree and say, hey, this is on us, which is like never.
Basically, the agency is just a middleman, so they don't pay for it, but the client will pay for whatever they want you to do, and then for the travels required for whatever they want you to do. 2 questions in mind. Do you personally think Instagram models are comparable with runway models?
With runway models? No.
I think it's two different jobs. It's very different in appearance, in what you actually do, and how you have to prepare. And you can do both. It's not the same thing. Do you have any tips if you are a little awkward and a bit camera shy? I live in New York and I want to give it a shot.
Any tips if you're a little awkward? Yeah. If you're camera shy, I suggest taking a lot of selfies, looking at yourself, seeing how you photograph. Give yourself that confidence, know your angles, that kind of thing. If you're camera shy, get your mom, dad, friend to take a lot of pictures of you, with your phone constantly, because that you'll get used to having a camera in your face, whether by yourself or by someone else.
Yeah, it's practice. It's a skill. It's like a sport, so you can improve. Is it because of modeling that you become a well-known person? No.
A well-known person? No. That's a common misconception too. That doesn't,
True.
The days of the supermodel are fairly over.
Yeah, because I know some of my colleagues, some of my peers, some models that are doing great, that do the best stuff, high fashion all the time, but nobody would recognize them ever on the street.
Nope.
I remember you saying that you could be a girl that earns millions and nobody knows who you are. And that's not even super. There's plenty of girls that make millions. Plenty. No one knows who they are. Unless you're in fashion. If you're in the fashion industry, you know who they are. Are you doing something else than modeling?
You? Definitely. You're a content creator. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's something totally different.
For me, all I do on social media kind of ties into my modeling as well. But as a model, I could also not do any social media if I want to. So what I do aside of modeling is, of course, content for brands, with brands, for myself. Content creation and digital spheres in general is what I do aside.
Amongst all the other things that you are good at, that you do, that you like dip your flight.
Appreciate it.
You know what I mean?
I'm 6'6", man. Is that okay?
Well, just like there's a height requirement to be too short, there's also one for being too tall. So 6'6" is definitely going to be on the taller side. I mean, I modeled and before I started management, and I'm 6'4".
Can you send me some pictures?
Oh, absolutely not.
Please.
Oh my God, no.
Please. Oh no. Is your modeling book still at Miss Wilson's?
It sure is.
I'm gonna ask you to send pictures. Okay, thank you. Nice. I'm 5'11" and skinny, but the problem is I'm 20. I feel like it's kind of late to start.
5'11" and skinny, and you're 20? 20 is, you're young as hell. What are you talking about?
Just start. Just apply.
Just apply. Send your pictures out.
Is it possible to model even if I'm Muslim? I want to model so bad, but I can't show much skin. I think that would make it a lot harder.
Again, the exception, not the rule. Send your pictures out. There might be some agencies that are interested in and doesn't find any kind of difficulty with that. Now, when it comes to the brands, it depends.
I've seen some Muslim models, not many, but if you find their agency, then you probably will find a way. So when it comes to modeling, how do you not fall into a state of mind that can be a little dark, considering how some may find it superficial and materialistic? How do you feel those thoughts out of your head, especially knowing where some of these clothes came from and how the makers do not see any dime, but the designers get all the riches? I do appreciate models and admire beauty on the streets as much as on the magazine. I hope you get a chance to answer my question.
I would answer it by saying, be yourself. The minute you try to be something that you're not, people see through that. Don't get caught up in what you think that person, wants because of the brand, and get caught up in your head and Just be yourself. They appreciate authenticity.
And for the creation of clothes, it's a tough one because I know how clothes are getting made, but I also know that me not doing modeling is not a way of changing how it's done. But there's different ways that you can help the environment, and not only the environment, but also how people get treated. I try to donate to charities and stuff. I do it on a regular basis because I know that things are happening in the world that shouldn't be happening. And I don't think that me quitting my job is doing more justice than helping in other ways. Agreed?
Agreed.
Alrighty. By the way, if you want to become a model, you should apply to Brandon Wilson, and
the plug.
you should write that you're from here.
The fuck?
Because this is kind of the best advice that I can give you, because I know the agency. I know it's well managed, but it's an agency nonetheless, so I can't guarantee that you're gonna become a model or anything, but this is just advice.
Submissions at Wilson Model MGMT, or you can just go to www.wilsonmodel.com.
Oh my god, what is this TV commercial?
And
give your number too. Shit. It's linked down below. Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome, Desi.
We've been trying to make this video for a long time, so I hope I get it done by tomorrow.
How did I do?
We still have to do the outro.
Subscribe? Cause what?
What? No, it sounds like I'm paying you. What the hell? Which I kind of am.
Subscribe. Subscribe to Desi. That's quoi? Desire mia.
Oh,
Desi de mia. Descending.
See you on the next video, and thank you for watching. I hope we could help.
Can we do another intro?
Intro? Like what?
Take my shoes and walk a mile, something that you can't do.